All right.
Good afternoon. Welcome to this afternoon's session on a very interesting topic on AI adoption journey. Our speaker today will be Shruti Patil. My name is Michael Gilman. I'll be your moderator today. I represent ASQ's Energy and Environmental Division. Remember, as you've probably seen in previous sessions, that questions should be submitted using the Q&A button on the bottom of the screen. You can also submit chat messages as well. I'll be monitoring them as the speaker is presenting, and we'll be addressing those questions at the end of the session. A quick bio on our speaker, Shruti. Today, Shruti is a certified senior informatics data analyst working for the Texas local government. She has dual master's degree in computer engineering and industrial management. She's certified as a PMP, Lean Six Sigma Black Belt. Shruti, very importantly, currently serves as the chair of the ASQ Government Division, who was one of the participating divisions in this ASQ Synergy conference. Shruti also has contributed to the Baldrige Excellence Framework. I've worked with Shruti on previous EDGE involvements, and we're very happy to have her joining us today. And at this point, I'll turn the session over to our speaker, Shruti. Thank you. Shruti, we currently have 43 attendees.
All right. So thank you. Thank you, Mike, for such a wonderful introduction. And hello, everyone from wherever you're joining us from. We are so glad that you could make it today. ASQ Synergy for Success is its very first own inaugural year. So we are glad to have you be part of it and supporting the Synergy for Success. So with that, let me start on my presentation today. It's going to be about AI adoption journey. So I believe a lot of you must have heard about this old age rhyme, Old MacDonald had a farm, E-I-E-I-O, but it has been tweaked a little bit to suit the modern world of AI today, where the old MacDonald had a farm, AIAIO. This I heard from one of the keynote speakers in the past year, and it kind of stuck with me since then and have been, like going through it over and over again. So with that, I would like to start off with sharing what my plan for today's session is. So we'll be looking at various aspects of AI, what kind of AI adoption challenges and strategies you have on this journey, and how you can successfully deploy AI, be it at the individual level or agency or organizational level. So before going on the adoption journey, let's look at and understand what is AI, what aspects of AI are out there, and where are you on this journey. So I know a lot of folks on this presentation webinar are quality professionals, but I also know that there is a high probability of people who are just getting started to board this AI bus and are overwhelmed and are thrown buzzwords at like AI, ML, NLP, LLM, and whatnot. So before diving into the adoption, I would like to take a brief moment to reflect on what these buzzwords really mean. So, and this is not a holistic list of all of what's going on in today's world, but I'm just going to spend a moment here on the very popular ones out there, including Gen AI. So AI, which is artificial intelligence, is a field of study, is a broad field of study. And within that, you have these different things like machine learning, NLP, and LLM. And so what machine learning is it's a branch of that AI which is basically focused on database learning, which means, everything is based out of data where you can identify patterns, you can predict and recommend solutions and systems, you can do some object detection and things like that. And then you have the natural language processing, or NLP in short, which basically think of it as your search engines like Google, Bing, and whatnot. All of those use NLP in the background, in the back end, to give you the answers you expect. So text analysis, sentiment analysis, speech recognition, translation are some of those areas which are covered under NLP as well. Then you have the large language model, LLMs, where you talk about the chatbots, which are getting popular day by day as we speak. And then text generation, language translation are part of that as well. And that is where the most popular buzzword of today, which is Gen AI, falls under, where you basically have Chat GPT, Claude, Copilot, Gemini, and all of those. So these are the aspects of AI, but no matter where you start, you have, so I'll be providing you with some of the roadmaps and some assessment skill sets you can take back to your organization, or even at an individual level, who is just simply interested in knowing more about AI and how to use. You can take back those skills with you and start implementing them. So your adoption depends on what AI you choose. So that's always a high recommendation for you to start with your outcome in mind, which can help you to choose the right direction on this AI journey. So why adopt AI? What's in it for me? This is the big question everybody has before getting their feet into anything, right? So I wanted to mention some of the benefits and advantages what you get once you adopt AI. So some of them are efficiency and productivity. So if you're doing mundane tasks or repetitive tasks every day in, day out, and would like to save some time and streamline or automate those things, then efficiency and productivity can be increased by adopting AI. AI can be your best friend there. Improved customer experience. We all thrive to improve customer experience because we all are somehow related to the service industry. So we do try to tailor our offerings to our customers and provide the best value as we can. And so it always helps customize solutions for your customers, and analyzes what your customer needs based on the feedback provided. So it definitely helps you in there. Enhanced decision making. When you talk about AI, it's all about data. So when you talk about decision making and database decision making, if you have some bad data which is leading to your decisions, that's a very adverse consequence it can lead you to. So what AI does is it can help you enhance your decision-making skills based on the data provided. So that is the very important ask from all the audience today, is to make sure your data, which is inputted in any of these AI systems, is clear, is good. So and it goes back to that old age saying of garbage in, garbage out. So make sure you have that right. It also helps you cost savings. I know a lot of you on the call probably are also thinking it's a double-edged sword, because AI systems which are out there right now with different vendors are very expensive to start with. But when you look at a long run, it's a ROI based cost analysis. When you perform that, it in a long run, it actually will save you, and it will be your friend and not foe. Enhanced risk management. So there's always with these AI adoptions, you have a low risk AI task, a medium risk AI task, and a high risk AI task. So depending on what kind of task you're looking at automating, you definitely can look at also creating frameworks for risk management, which I'll go a little deeper going forward in our slides. And then not just that, it gives you the AI advantage by having the happy face with your customers and like great competitive edge for your business, and you stand out in the competition in your industry today. With that, let's talk about Gen AI a little bit, because that's like the most popular one for today's world. So what I've done here is I've created like a cheat sheet for you with what a Gen AI tool looks names and the uses for those, because there are a lot of Gen AI tools which are popping out as we speak in the world today. So, but I have put together a list of very popularly used and tools out there right now, and what specific use, because a lot of people get confused or overwhelmed, and that's how I was when I started my journey. Was the like, which tool do I use? I've heard of ChatGPT, I've used of Gemini, I've heard of PMI Infinity, I've heard of Sora. Which one do I use? When do I use? In which circumstances or what kind of situations and scenarios? So to clear that uh, blurriness off, I've created this list, and you can see how ChatGPT, Gemini, and Copilot can help in creative writing, summarizing, and things like that. PMI Infinity is specifically project management based assistant. So it actually integrates the project management body of knowledge, and is your best buddy when it comes to your project management tasks. And similarly, for risk management or intelligent issue tracking, you have the AI assistant built into the Jira. And then, for example, Sora creates pictures out of the text inputs. I saw this really cool video generated from text input where the downtown Tokyo was described during an evening of an event happening at the downtown, and Sora created such a cool video, and it really looks very realistic. So that was amazing to see how it has enhanced just since the last couple of years. And then GitHub also helps you in for all the code gurus out there who are interested to write code and build something in Python or Java or any language, that helps you write efficient codes. So when we talk about Gen AI, it cannot be complete without prompt engineering. And so let's spend a minute here to talk about prompts. What are prompts? So when you go to this Chat GPT or Copilot or any kind of platform, what you see is there is a small panel wherein you type your message or ask a question to Copilot about what your inputs are, and you expect an output. That's nothing, that input you give to the tool is nothing but a prompt. And the art of crafting those prompts is called prompt engineering. And it's definitely iterative in nature, because you ask a question, it replies and gives you some outputs, and then you ask further question to go dive deeper into it, and then it responds based on your follow-up questions. And then you have some frameworks. Even with frameworks, we started with the very basic role task format, but now there are probably n number of prompt engineering frameworks out there which you can use and adapt to. So some of the more popular ones are these, and I really like the Create one because it goes very deeply into like the character. If you tell the Gen AI tool what persona it should take while answering the question for you, then be very specific with the request and maybe share an example or an analogy with it, and then any additional requirements you have. And it reminds me somewhat of the project charter which we create when we initially create the start on our project life cycle. So wherein you type your output, what kind of format you want for your output, be as specific as you want here. The more the merrier is the deal here. So the more specific you get, the more clarity you provide to the tool, it will provide the best accurate answer possible. And then always have some evaluation criteria so that you can have those checks and balances, because otherwise it will say, yeah, you never told me you knew that. And then the AI will come back with, well, you never asked. I really like this cartoon thing here. So that's how Gen AI works. And here are some of the do's and don'ts. Again, I know a lot of us get overwhelmed when we start on this journey on like, what can I do with it? What can I not do with it? And what should I do? What shouldn't I do? So, with that, I'll tell you, you can do a lot of things. It's up to you to decide how to be responsible and ethical, and what you should do and what you should not do. And here's a little list which I put together so that you have a quick reference if you are stumbling or still lost on this focus area of do's and don'ts. And as they always say, like when you hear something or talk about a fact or something, always take it with a pinch of salt. In case of AI, I would say take it with a sack of salt, because anything AI provides, just don't blindly believe it, because you have to have that human in the loop, be responsible for validating the outputs, and have those checks and balances throughout. So let's come back to the adoption now. So now that we understood what Gen AI is, what AI as a field of study is, how do you adopt? And I've already mentioned that always start with the outcome in mind. And I know that a lot of you are from the quality background and can relate to this roadmap here. So start with identifying your current state and your future state, so that you know what you want to do with AI. Is it like streamlining a process or automating some redundant task, or is it building a model or detecting an object? What is it that you want to do with this AI? And try to also identify the future state, and so you have that clarity and you know how to build the roadmap then. With that, the second step would be to create an AI readiness assessment. Why is that important? I know that everybody today wants to get on this AI bus, but are you really ready for it? Do you know what you need to get success in this journey? And that's where the AI readiness assessment helps you to know and answer those questions for you. And in a little bit, I'll show you some of the questions I put together from my research, and looking at different best practices from different industries. I put together a checklist for you, which you can take home as well. So that will help you assess your readiness, and it's the $1 million question will be answered then. And then moving on, once you have the assessment done, you also can form committees and focus groups. And some of these steps are they go parallel, hand in hand, because once you have your committees and focus groups, your champions identified, they will help you to assess the AI readiness in different areas, functional areas of your organization. They'll also help you evaluate the AI systems. There are a lot of vendors out there today for specific needs of AI in different organizations. So you can look at what you need and then filter out the vendors and then evaluate, create a scoring metrics for yourself, which can help you identify and make sure that what you need is what you're getting. And then once you evaluate the AI systems, have a pilot project deployment. A lot of times I get asked this question about how do you get buy-in from the leadership, or how do you scale it at a larger scale? You start small in one area, but you want to scale it at an organizational level. How do you do that? Well, that's my answer to that. Like, have your champions from different cross-functional areas, and then have your pilot project. Identify a small area where you see a need to automate or to adapt AI, and then which can help your employees be better with their productivity, can save some time for them, and then deploy a small project in that area using AI, and then you can show the employees like how it can help them, how it is a friend and not a foe for them. And this also opens eyes to the leadership, showing them that it actually helps your organization get better. If you can link it to your strategic plans, that would be perfect, because the leadership at the top is having a bird's eye view of the whole organization, and they usually try to link everything to the strategic plan. So see if you can link your outcomes and your ideas to the pilot project. Moving on, let's talk about AI governance. What is it and why is it important? So, whenever you talk about governance, especially because I come from a local government, this is more tuned towards public sector. But again, it can be adopted anywhere, because no matter what industry or background you come from, you do have to have the governance piece handled. So what is it? So it includes the governance includes frameworks, policies, practices, and ensures ethical, responsible, trustworthy, effective use of AI. What does that mean? So every organization or agency already has their own policies and practices and frameworks in the frameworks uh, in already presented, or you can work with your legal teams to adapt those frameworks. You can also take preventative measures while you're adapting and updating these frameworks. And accountability, again, as I mentioned, human in the loop is a very big piece of the puzzle, where you have your leaders, users, and champions supporting. Compliance, again, it's all about legal. And then data governance, quality and integrity, as I mentioned, and risk management, like cybersecurity, mitigation, and accuracy. And how do you tackle it? You identify the roles, responsibilities, and stakeholders. Then you perform the assessment. We've been through this already a little bit. The have checklists, have frameworks in procurement. You can use tools like Microsoft Forms to create these checklists. You can refer to NIST, which is the National Institute for Standards and Technology, for an AI risk management framework. So the whole idea here is, when you start creating these checklists, don't just look inside, look outside as well. If you have a catalog where your IT or someone is already having, you can start there, but you can also partner with your peer organizations or universities. You can collaborate with them to create one, or you can look outside on what best practices others are following. And these are some of the questions which I created from different sources, and my own research is based on data foundation, infrastructure readiness, risk management, and so on. And these are the questions you ask yourself, your team, your champions on this journey. So once ready, what's next? You identified your champions, you have your cross-functional departments, you created the committees, you created the roadmap with milestones. Now let's look at what kind of approach the enterprise variables have on this. So there are different variables. It depends, again, as I said, the outcome in the mind. What is it you're trying to achieve? Is it customer experience? Is it business process optimization? Are you focusing on product development or data management? Or is governance and ethics of essence to you and your community? So it all depends on what industry you're coming from or what department you're in. Now let's look at some of the use cases. We have the GPT builder here, the custom GPTs. So I wanted to talk a little bit beyond Gen AI and go and talk about some of the use cases. So one of them is custom GPTs. It's just like any, you can create or purchase them from a store like a Play Store you have on your Android or iPhone. The people have created different kind of custom GPTs out there, not just big organizations like Microsoft, but even individuals have put some open source one out there you can use. Then there is retrieval augmented generation, which is RAG, which are trained and equipped model. You can look at that and train specifically for your projects. So say you're building a custom GPT for your document summarization or knowledge management, if you can put in your sources like SharePoint and stuff in there, it actually can retrieve and give you the right quality management plan compared to versus if you had just gone to ChatGPT and asked for one, it would create a generic one for you. But if you have a custom one built, you actually can provide a more, accurate and tailored version for yourself and your audience. Talking about more about custom GPTs, the metrics are KPIs because we come from a field where we always look for metrics and KPIs. So these are some of the technical and non-technical metrics you can look at while you're evaluating your custom GPTs. It could be accuracy to speed to maybe customization and user satisfaction and a lot more even based on ranking and R square and all that. So with custom GPTs, what kind of benefits and risks do you have? So definitely it increases productivity, reduces the turnaround time. Like for like a public information request, for example, you have now for my organization has the 10 business days to respond to any public information request. But what happens is trying to gather all that information from different departments and put it all together, there's a lot of waiting time and a non-value added time, which could be eliminated once you have a custom GPT in place. And then you have that creativity and innovation as well. But it also comes with risk because it could be inaccurate because it might understand it differently and interpret it differently and give you a completely different outcome. It could even bias sometimes and provide you with different answers. There could be a security issue, so always have that backup in place. Mike, if you're talking, I cannot hear you. Okay, I'll just continue with my slides here while Mike is trying to get something there. Another use case I wanted to share some light on beyond Gen AI is model building. I know not many of it could be a little overwhelming for some of them, and not many of them might be interested in this because I wanted to give a overall AI adoption today and talk about it. I wanted to also spend a minute here. So one of the model building examples I worked on is object detection. So what we did here is what do you look for? And we specifically looked for the stop signs. So to the model builder, you actually give what a stop sign looks like, how a stop sign which is blocked looks like, and then you provide a lot of images for the trained model and the test model. But then going around and taking pictures of the stop sign, not always people don't have the time to do that, and it's a tedious process. We also cannot get it over Google or Bing. So there are platforms like Kaggle, which we used here in this specific case to get data sets which have that trained model, trained images already. So what we did is we took one of a few data sets for stop signs from Kaggle, and then we annotated for how the stop sign should look like, which is not a stop sign. And then you train, you have two different models. One is for training and one is for testing. And then you pre-process both of those to see how you can build your model. So these were some of the examples from Gen AI and beyond Gen AI. So we spoke about challenges as a whole, how in adopting AI, what kind of challenges do you get? You have the data foundation challenge where it could be quality or integrity or security. We also know that so many of our organizations are still working with legacy systems. So you always have that system capabilities, hardware and software, or is it integrated or not with the modern systems? And then cybersecurity is always at high risk. So, and I know like a lot of IT teams out there spend probably like about 70% of the time troubleshooting and trying to prevent cybersecurity issues. So it's a major concern when it comes to AI. So be mindful of that as well. Skills gap. The traditional upskilling doesn't work, like one-time training, like how we used to do in the past, will not work with AI because it's con continuously evolving and you have to evolve with it as well. So, and you don't know if your employees and your teams are ready and what stage they are in. They could be at different stages when it comes to upskilling. So the traditional methods would not work. You have to, maybe you can start with a generic one for everybody, but then customize depending on the needs of your employees. There are platforms like Coursera and Udemy or LinkedIn Learning you can take advantage of, who keep updating the content based on the current trends and patterns of AI and what's working and what's not working. You also have resources like ASQ or PMI, which can offer you with a lot of content on upskilling your gap. Then you have the governance. There's a lot of federal regulations coming out these days, or a lot of countries are putting together different regulations and governance or ethical considerations in place. So keep an eye out for that as well. There are different states also have different legislations coming out. So be mindful and cautious and regulate yourself. And then I have, because I come from local government, I've always seen budget and resources being the biggest constraints. To see how you can be creative about finding a solution, look for strategies which can help you, where you can leverage some of the grant funding, you can have collaborations with universities and partner with peer organizations, because you don't have to do this alone. Everybody is on this journey and it's still new to most of us. So we all are in this together and we can share the idea of working together and focusing on different needs of today's world. And then these are some of the strategies we already spoke about: the checklist, the assessments, the frameworks, and the handbooks. And then always monitor and evaluate, have the human in the loop. You always look for risk management strategies. There is also, I've heard of AI insurance, which is pretty new in this world right now, because there are some, there was an organization, I can't remember the name, but they got in trouble with using AI, and it provided them with some biased results and had adverse consequences. So now there is a new type of insurance out there in the market which you can shop for, which is the AI insurance. And then how do you take care of your stakeholders? You engage them, keep them informed, be transparent so that you know what you're providing, have that feedback so that you're not uh, deviating from the needs and then wasting your time and energy on this. So we are working on something big, and you need a team to go forward with this. So the takeaways for today, if I know that a lot of you are probably overwhelmed. I was when I started my journey and I stumbled a lot. I was like, what do I do? Where do I get started? Every day I hear this news or I read this article or I have this blog posted something on the platform or something like that. So don't be scared. Everybody is in muddy waters right now, so start where you are. And if you don't know where to start, I would highly recommend starting at the Gen AI level because that's something which is most popular. And then once you get a hand over Gen AI, you can move beyond Gen AI where you can think about advanced techniques like model building or object detection or automating. So, and then nowadays it's even becoming easier because Microsoft Copilot, for example, has released a new version like integrated AI in it. So a lot of systems are coming with integrating AI. So work with your current vendors and see if they already are working towards the same goals as yours. Then focus on foundation. Be sure that you do have all of the checklists and assessments done before you start off, because if you feed something bad, you're going to get something bad for sure. And continue to evolve as AI evolves. And these are some of the resources here for you to like get started on this journey. There are Project Cerebellum is a think tank for trusted AI models. So you can look at that custom GPT translation example, a real-time translation, and then there are partnerships and collaborations like GovAI Coalition. Look for collaborations like that who come forward to put together templates and resources for you to use and share best practices in your industry. Then other resources are listed here, and you also see these 3 different books down here from different, like for example, there is a playbook from Department of Homeland Security for AI, and there's also a roadmap. And you can always look at where you're going, and to sustain your efforts you definitely need a team with you and some collaboration, because that's the way forward in this AI journey. I hope you learned something today about AI if you had not already known, and if you have already known, I hope you still got some nuggets here and there from my presentation today. And if you want to connect with me, I'm available on LinkedIn. You can always join the government division. I'm the chair for the division, so you can always connect me with there as well. And with that, I will turn it over back to Mike.
Thank you very much, Shruti. Very interesting, as is evidenced by some very interesting questions that have been posed. So I'm going to read or summarize a few questions for you. First, AI is another technology, a very special one. How do you see it rolling out, and how will the change managed be different from other technology that has been rolled out in the past? Are there any special considerations that organizations should address when rolling out AI compared to other technology rollouts?
Yes, great question. And I did not get a chance to spend a lot of time on that, but it is definitely going to be different from the traditional approaches, because uh, the traditional approach, you look at a system, you're looking at 10, 20, 30, 40 years of procurement with the same vendor sometimes, and you look at one system and you're stuck with that system for a while. But AI is different. You could either, because there could be ERP systems out there which are integrating AI within itself nowadays, which is probably work in progress. But there are vendors out there like Polymorphic for voice over AI, and there is one called Civic Engage, which is uh, uh, specifically for permits and processing of permits. So there is all these different AI tools and vendors out there who are very specific for what the needs are. So you have to break down what you're looking for and what the outcome you're expecting, and then deploy the AI tool which you're looking for. If you have a set of developers already in your organization, probably they can build a custom GPT for you, like your IT team could be working on that already. So there are different ways, and like looking forward, you always have to keep evolving, like how you have the agreements with vendors or the RFPs, those might start looking different. You probably have to work with your legal team and your IT team and procurement team to identify how to strategize these new asks and new needs, because the requirement itself is going to be different, and so the solution is going to be different and will be more of a small short term rather than a long term. And then you also have to look at how it integrates with your existing systems, and if you need to work with your existing vendors to see if they can update for your sake to integrate these modern systems and advancements which are coming through. I hope that
Very,
answered your question.
very good. I think you have. Another very interesting question. When I ask AI tools such as ChatGPT, Copilot, etc., specific questions about requirements that are mentioned in codes or international public standards such as ASME, API, etc., they often give replies that are not exactly what is mentioned in the standard. I mean, in their first reply, they tell us they don't have access to these standards. Yes, some of those standards are restricted. For unexperienced professionals, this could lead to taking wrong decisions. How can we control this?
So again, it goes back to having, a set of eyes always validating the results which come out, because AI is not a mature enough tool at this point where it can provide you with exactly what you're looking for. And that's not just the case with the use case you just mentioned, but it's with numerous other cases as well. So that's why we look at identifying what your need or outcome is, and uh, filter that into the low risk, high risk, and medium risk categories. And one you mentioned seems like a very high risk category to me, because it's restricted data, and like it talks about different restrictions for the organization, or like and also leads to decision making. So definitely we have to look at what we are like asking AI, but also validate all the results. It's still not a mature system enough to provide you with 100% accurate results. So always keep that in mind. And as I said, like take it with a sack of salt. So definitely have that human in the loop, and validate, have those checks and balances.
I know we're running out of time, but some interesting
Yes.
comments are being offered in addition to the questions. Someone offers, um, don't trust, verify, which is
Yes.
always a good policy.
Mm-hmm.
One more last comment before we run out of time. Someone offers that by creating a personal assistant inside ChatGPT, it is possible to train it using proprietary documents and knowledge, and at the same time protect from external unauthorized use.
Yes, you can do that, but you have to be very careful. And if you're really at the beginning of this journey, I would recommend to wait until you learn more about it and get acquainted with the advancements and the AI itself, and then go ahead and try that. But if don't just plug in anything if you're not completely aware of how the process works.
Thank you, Shruti. Many thanks are coming towards you on the chat website. That I know that you've been involved in the presentation and haven't had the leisure to review the chat. But on behalf of all of the attendees, I'll thank you very much for a very interesting talk. Great attendance, by the way, 85 attendees at peak. If there are some questions that haven't been answered, they can be submitted and we'll answer them remotely at a later time. And I thank you very much, Shruti, and attendees. There's several other sessions being offered this afternoon, and of course another day of keynote and sessions tomorrow. So thanks very much to all for attending, and thank you very, very much, Shruti, for a very interesting presentation.
Thank you, Mike, and thank you everyone for joining us. I hope you enjoy our Synergy for Success and make it such a great event that we bring more and more to you every coming year forward. Thank you.